We live in a world where everything has to look perfect. Flawless faces, spotless homes, perfectly planned routines. One slip and it feels like failure. But who decided that perfection should be the standard? Who said flaws are something to be ashamed of? Social media sold us the idea of an edited life, filters, angles, cuts. We see people's success, never their struggles. That creates a vicious cycle of comparison and frustration. No one feels enough. No one feels real. According to the American Psychological Association, perfectionism has sharply increased among young people in recent years. It's linked to depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. It's as if chasing the best version of ourselves is slowly tearing us apart. But here's a simple question. Does perfection even exist? Or is it just another shiny product designed to stay out of reach? Maybe the real issue isn't that we're imperfect. Maybe it's that we believe we're supposed to be something else. Now imagine this. What if the beauty was in the parts you try to hide? What if the cracks in your life, the failed plans, the scars on your skin were part of the story, not mistakes? There's an ancient philosophy that believes exactly that, and maybe, just maybe, it can change the way you see yourself, others, and the world around you. There's a Japanese word that holds a world of meaning, Wabi-sabi. It represents the beauty of imperfection, of impermanence, of simplicity. Instead of hiding the effects of time, it celebrates them. Instead of covering up flaws, it turns them into poetry. This philosophy grew from Zen Buddhism and has shaped Japanese culture for centuries. It lives in asymmetrical gardens, weathered wooden homes, and chipped teacups. It doesn't try to be anything it's not. For Wabi-sabi, beauty doesn't live in what's new, expensive, or perfect. It lives in what's real, in what has history, in what's always changing. Leonard Cohen, author of Wabi-sabi, for artists, designers, poets, and philosophers, defines it as the beauty of things imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete. It's an invitation to see the world differently, to stop trying to control everything, to let things and ourselves simply be. And when we begin to look at life this way, something shifts. We start to realize that maybe the problem was never the imperfection itself, but how we were taught to see it. We live in an era that worships shine. Everything must be polished, planned, perfect. One little flaw feels like a disaster. But what if we're seeing it all wrong? What if that shine is blinding us? Take Instagram, for example. It's the perfect mirror of this illusion. Flawless photos, curated smiles, ideal lives. But behind the screen, reality looks very different. A study by the Royal Society for Public Health in the UK found that Instagram is the most damaging social media platform for young people's mental health. It makes sense. Every scroll shows us a life that doesn't exist, and we start to wonder, why don't I look like that? Why isn't my life as beautiful, as organized, as happy? This fear of looking imperfect isolates us. It makes us hide our flaws, even from ourselves. But the truth is, they're what make us human. A brand new vase might look flawless, but it's the old one, marked by time, that holds stories. And maybe, just maybe, the cracks we try so hard to hide are the very things that make us real. In Japan, there's an art form called kintsugi. It's the practice of repairing broken pottery using a lacquer mixed with gold. Yes, gold. The cracks aren't hidden. They're highlighted. What was once seen as damage becomes the most beautiful part of the piece. The scar is not a flaw, it's the soul. And this changes everything. Kintsugi doesn't pretend the break never happened. It honors it, it tells the story of what that object survived, and makes it more precious because of it. Now think about yourself. How many times have you tried to erase a mistake, hide a scar, silence a pain? How many times did you believe that being broken made you less worthy? But what if the opposite is true? What if your scars are the most powerful part of your story? What if, like in kintsugi, your wounds don't need to be erased, but revealed with gold? This ancient art offers a profound truth. We're not valuable in spite of our pain. We're valuable because of it. And when we finally accept that, everything begins to shift. Wabi-sabi is also about simplicity, but not the kind that means less. It's the kind that means essence. It's about looking at something modest and seeing something profound. It's about space, silence, stillness, letting beauty exist without needing to shout. We live in a world full of noise, endless notifications, constant plans, never-ending choices. But do we really need it all? The Institute for the Future says that too many choices lead to what they call decision fatigue. More options don't give us more freedom, they give us more stress. Wabi-sabi invites us to do the opposite, to remove the excess, to care for what we already have, to find peace in a quiet room, a worn object, a pause with no agenda. It's not about living with less out of duty. It's about living with less because it brings more clarity. Maybe what we've been chasing out there has been inside us all along. We were just too distracted to see it. And when we simplify what we look at, we begin to untangle what we feel. Everything changes, everything fades. It's one of the hardest truths to accept and also one of the most freeing. In Zen Buddhism, there's a concept called mujo, which means impermanence. Nothing stays the same. The seasons change, our bodies change, feelings come and go. Wabi-sabi invites us to see beauty in that, in what is leaving, fading, transforming. A flower is beautiful, not because it lasts forever, but because we know it won't. That's what makes it precious. The philosopher Heraclitus once said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice. Everything flows, nothing repeats, not even us. Still we try to hold on. We try to freeze time, to lock things into place hoping they'll stay. But clinging only brings pain. When we accept that nothing is permanent, we live with more lightness. We appreciate the now. We stop waiting for later and start noticing what's already here. We begin to see the fading moment as the most beautiful part of all. We spend our lives chasing endings, clear answers, finished stories. But what if being incomplete isn't a flaw? What if it's just part of being alive? Wabi-sabi teaches us that something doesn't have to be finished to be beautiful. An unfinished painting, a song that trails off, a path still being walked. The real world is made of things in progress, people learning, plans evolving, versions of ourselves that aren't final yet. But modern life says otherwise. Social media tells us only the final product matters. Only what's polished deserves to be seen. That creates pressure, constant, silent, heavy. But the truth is, no one's ever truly done. And that's okay. Life isn't a finish line. It's a winding road with pauses, curves, and detours. And that is exactly what makes it real. It's one thing to understand wabi-sabi. It's another to live it. But it's not hard. You can start small and look around you. That chipped mug that holds your morning coffee. That worn-out book full of notes. That quiet corner where you breathe. Beauty lives there, in what's been used, touched, lived. Simplify your space. Let go of what clutters. Leave room for stillness. Be gentle with your limits. Stop trying to be perfect all the time. You don't have to always perform, produce, impress. Author Beth Kempton says, "Wabi-sabi is a reminder that the simple, slow, and imperfect can be more rich than the perfect. Begin with small choices. More silence, more pauses, more attention to what already is. And slowly you may start to notice, life was already beautiful. You just couldn't hear it over the noise." Accepting imperfection isn't giving up. It's letting go. It's freedom. In a world obsessed with filters, perfection, and performance, accepting who you are, as you are, becomes a quiet act of rebellion. It's a silent revolution. A calm voice saying, "I don't have to be perfect to be worthy." That kind of acceptance changes everything. It lifts the weight of expectations. It makes space for connection, for peace, for truth. Wabi-sabi doesn't ask us to settle. It asks us to see the value in what's already here, to find beauty where no one's looking. It's a daily choice, a gentle practice, a way of walking through life with open eyes and a softer heart. And when we see life through that lens, we realize something simple. Life never wanted us to be perfect. It just wanted us to be present. Life isn't a polished masterpiece. It's a cracked vase, full of stories, time, and truth. Wabi-sabi reminds us, what's real is also imperfect, and that's where beauty begins. You don't need to be fixed to be loved. You don't need to hide your flaws to be enough. Maybe you've been enough all along. So here's a question. What's the crack in your story? The one you've tried to hide? That might actually be the most beautiful part of who you are.